did you have to do then?
I don't know, Eric did something. I had to go and put a different thing on the top, and then I had to re-sign in, and
Okay. So like on that one, do you have to set up a live stream ahead of time that you just click on, or so it's just automatic?
he's got.
Like when I do our church one, I set it up on Saturday to be started the next day, and then it's scheduled for later, and then I go ahead and I have to click go live and start it. But
I just hit start and stop. That's all I
so
do.
he must have something automatic set up.
But sometimes just hitting start and stop works, all right?
Most of the time.
Yeah. So then you wonder what changes.
That's why I was wondering if he just had to do a new
Yeah,
setup,
maybe.
that,
Yeah,
like start over. I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second it.
A motion from Derby and a second from Jensvold to approve the payroll claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Did everybody have, oh, you're still looking at the semi-monthly.
Did we get those as an email?
Last Friday,
Okay, then I did look at them.
yeah. 2/3 of everything was the seal coat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's chances of rain all week. Did they get some tile hooked up to those downspouts, do we know, out at the law enforcement center?
Oh, just to extend them some?
Just
Oh,
for now,
yeah,
to
we
get it
talked
out of
about
there.
having that where you could run it out where you could get rid of it easier. Rather than soaking right there by the generators.
Well, I entertain a motion for the semi-monthlies.
I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
I'll second that.
Got a motion from Jensvold and a second from Smith to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
What are you looking up on there?
I was looking where that bridge, that next bridge that Scott was
Oh.
saying is going into.
Where's it going?
Well, it's northwest of Thompson on 440th, but I wonder if it's the one that's right by a level B road there that
It,
curves.
there's one that's embargoed by Brad Arnevick's out there. Let's see, 440th would be a mile north,
Mhm.
Highway 9.
And here's Brad Arnevick.
Yeah, it seems like there's a, yeah, if we go, okay, there's where he lives.
Mhm.
I believe this bridge right
I think
here.
it's that one? Okay.
Well, Or is it this?
Here's what said F18-N1.
He did try to explain those numbers once, but they never did make sense.
Can't figure it out either.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
you think they just have the actual,
Address of it or whatever.
or the bridge on
Mhm.
blank blank in between blank and blank. Yeah, yeah.
So you think it might be that one, huh?
Oh, I'm trying to, yeah, no, I know the one, yeah, by Jerry Penny, right there, that one's.
That's it?
Yep,
Okay.
that's right, it's just past Jerry Penny's.
Okay, so that is Friday.
Cause that's the one I went up to loaded with my truck. I didn't see the sign when I turned the corner. Cause the trailer that I always use haul fertilizer, I have to unload off to the right-hand side, so then I gotta circle around the section the right way to be facing the right way when I pull up alongside the driveway for the sprayer to pull up, load. And, I got up to that bridge and saw the sign and I'm like, all right,
So what'd you do?
I backed up.
Yeah, you're probably good at it. I'd be in trouble.
I saw it, I didn't get right to the bridge, I actually saw the sign on the bridge, and then I remembered, I knew that it was embargo. And as I was backing up and I went back and then I saw the first sign that warned that it was ahead.
Mhm.
Somehow I missed it. It was only about a half mile I had to back up, I think.
That would give me a panic attack. I would never be able to do that. I would never be able to do that.
Oh yeah, you would if you practiced enough. You get,
Thank God when they started putting cameras in backup of vehicles,
yeah.
because that little red line that tells me exactly where to go, I wouldn't be able to do it without that.
I don't like doing it when I'm loaded heavy because it's just too much torque, but I'll even pop my transmission on the high side and then I get on the high side of reverse, which technically it's not a gear selection, but it does work. So then you can back up really fast.
No.
If I'm empty, I'll do that, but not loaded.
I have the worst depth perception of anyone.
I
Hard time.
I never had to stop once. But anybody can, well, I guess you got really bad depth perception, but depth perception sometimes is just, once you get used to knowing what to look for, and, it's,
Mine is just really bad. I'm legally blind in my left eye, so
oh,
it truly is like.
so, my daughter, Mackenzie, that was one of her struggles, is she has one eye that is nearsighted and one eye that is farsighted. Her grandpa had that. And so that having one, each eye corrected for a different thing, sometimes she had a little
But
trouble.
now in like LASIK, they'll actually do that. They'll leave one eye for far away and one eye for close. I would never be able to get the
Yeah,
depth. You'd think that would mess up depth perception.
Okay, so they were gonna call us
They were gonna call in.
So are we gonna have to set up a recording secretary for this, or are we just recording this on our own until we do an official act of some sort? We have to go public or something? This is more discussion of how we're gonna proceed.
Yeah, I suppose it still has to be opened as a joint meeting and
So we have to probably set up a recording secretary officially and.
I suppose so. Okay, see ya.
Just wonder, I suppose if we set up this ordinance for golf carts within a quarter of a mile, I think quarter would be enough.
I would think a quarter would be enough. half seems excessive.
Yeah, how far is it from the south driveway at Three Fingers to the north driveway? That can't be much more than a quarter mile.
Well, that's all within the campground.
Wouldn't you just do golf courses if you're gonna do something?
What if somebody out of Three Fingers on that one gravel road gets,
I mean, yeah, their odds are lower because evidently we got someone over there. I mean, yes, we're not necessarily worried about the deputies.
Does the gentleman who paid his fine have any recourse after this? He paid it. I think it was $120.
I think you're done.
Yeah, once they have your money, they're gonna keep it because it was a legitimate fine at the time.
No? It wasn't, really,
Not really.
it wasn't.
Well, yeah. Well, if it wasn't a legitimate fine at the time, then he has recourse.
That's
I
what I
would
think.
thought, is it worth it to go to court to get it back? My guess is indeed that's what would have to happen.
More of a point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Small claims or whatever.
Because he pleaded guilty.
To what he thought was.
Well, yeah, if he pled guilty to something he didn't understand, he might stand a chance, but usually those tickets on there say when you sign them and you mail it in that you're admitting guilt, so. Not that I've ever had one. You know, I've just read other people's.
When I was young, I tried fighting one,
Did you? How'd that work out?
when they first came out with radar. I questioned, there was 3 vehicles coming down the hill, past Martin Crawls.
Yeah.
Didn't live there then, but, where Martin Crawl lived. Anyway, I'm in the 3rd one in line, and they picked me out, going a certain speed, Sankey. I didn't think it was correct. Questioned him on how he set it up. Because I looked at what people said. You gotta make sure he set it up right. Judge just took his word for it.
Yeah. I had a state trooper in Illinois shoot me, and then he wanted to write me a ticket.
With a radar.
Yeah, no, no, and he said that I was doing 70 and 55 was speed limit on the interstates for trucks back then in Illinois. He said I was going 70. I says, no, I wasn't, sir. And he goes, oh, I got you right here. I says, I don't know who you shot at 70. I says, that's not me because my cruise control was set on 65. I'll admit I was going 10 miles an hour over your speed limit because I always do, but I am not going to sign a ticket for 70. Because I was, well, your speedometer's wrong. He says, no, I've got nothing else to do but run around in this truck all day long and time myself between mile markers.
Is that Hancock County?
We're on.
All right. Well, it's 10 o'clock. Teleconference with Hancock County to discuss with possible action a parcel owned by Joint DD 3937. Do we have to set up anything ahead of time, like recording secretary and stuff?
I don't think so.
Just discussion? All right. Well, so how do you guys feel about the procedure to move forward with this? The IDDA drainage attorney said we didn't have to go through a public hearing, but have you heard otherwise?
And do you want to explain it? Yeah, this is Ian Hinders, the drainage clerk. I reached out to Brian Young, our drainage attorney, just because I've never dealt with anything like this. The board has not dealt with anything like this. Brian said we would have to do a notice of hearing, and do a hearing for this.
Notice of public hearing or just an informational hearing?
Public hearing?
Okay. Well, we've got a document email from Doug Strike from IDDA that shows the section of code that says what we can do. If Chris forwarded that to you, or
He did. But our attorney said that it's really not, I mean, yes, it's the proper code, but there's still steps you have to do.
All right.
I
He
kind
said you attach the proper code section, because I forwarded that to him. He goes, you attach the proper code section regarding the transfer of property. As you'll notice, the statute addresses the lease or sale and makes no reference to a conveyance without consideration. There is a provision in the county home rule statute which does authorize the making of a gift of property by county, but only if it's for a county purpose.
All right.
And this is not for county purpose, so that's why he's saying the transfer itself would be pretty simple. A quick claim deed would do it. The issue is really if the board has statutory authority to transfer without consideration.
So knowing that, the process to move forward are we going to have to make a motion today of who we would transfer it to, and then set public hearing, or how are we gonna do that?
We just had discussion on our agenda.
Oh, okay, ours had possible action, so we'll have to put it off then. So, back to the process,
when a county sells land, like we've done before, what I feel that we should do is have a public hearing, and then really we should have some kind of a bid process. Because really, I don't think county can sell property or get rid of property without a bid process.
so does this go back to how it was acquired in the first place? Did we pay for it in the first place?
I don't think we paid for it in the first place.
So, that's kinda like the railroad thing. Years ago, some years ago, the railroads came in and kinda did eminent domain on some people's properties, and they have first rights to that land once it's not used for that purpose. I look at it similar to that, whether the attorneys look at it that way or not.
I still think we need to have a public
If we
hearing.
took it away from them without reimbursement,
And we didn't take it away from it. They deeded it to us.
right?
How did this, Chris, have you found somewhere how this happened? How did the drainage district end up with this property?
Chris is not here, she had to go. Do we have some information on that, Carla?
Yeah, I have a deed here from January 3rd, 1963. And did Chris send that to you?
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, Carla, we just read inside of there, that the county paid $553 for it.
Okay,
So they didn't take it.
No,
all right.
I just don't know why they did it.
right.
Yeah, I don't
I
understand.
I
why
wonder what the
decision was-
reasoning was, you know, if you have found anything in the minutes or anything that stated why that was done?
No.
Is that kind of what you want to look at, Ann?
Well, I guess in lieu of, that there was money transferred for the purchase of it, then I guess I would agree, we probably need to go up for bids.
Why would the district bought this
Yeah.
property?
And that's, this is Michelle. We were getting new carpet put in our drainage room this week, so Ann was unable to go down and look through the minutes at all. And Carly, you said, Chris didn't have any time either, too?
I don't know if she looked or not, and she had to leave this morning unexpectedly, so
Okay. Absolutely understand, yes. And that's why I didn't know if you wanted us to look through the minutes back in the 60s, right? To see, if we can find out why they did it.
yeah, I mean, we can look.
We don't have to action today, but, it'd be nice to keep moving forward at some point on this.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. And we are meeting on the 20th, on a Tuesday also with, Cerro County.
Okay,
Oh, we're going over there. Shoot, never mind, sorry, we're going over there.
August.
So we'll be meeting on August
County Fair.
3rd also.
August. wanna do that? You wanna meet again, or get together on the third, where we can talk again?
August 3rd?
Ian, do you have a code section from your attorney that talks about what your attorney said?
Yes, and I will send this, Carla, I'm sorry, I should have sent you the conversation I had with my attorney. I'll send all that to you and Chris, but that code section he was referring to was 331.305. Oh, no, that's a publication. The other code section he said was 331.361.
Okay,
But I will send you the email from him, sorry, I forgot to do that.
okay, sounds good.
If you could have your attorney look at that again, have the EDA's attorney look at that, if he agrees with ours.
Okay,
This Brian's like, it's almost like what we did with Duncan Heights. We had a resolution to set the hearing. We had the hearing, then a resolution to approve the thing. It just, yeah, I agree with you, Carla, too, on how much and for who. So, and then is it our responsibility to advertise? I mean, it, yeah.
I mean, the last time we sold land, we went through a public hearing and a bid process, and then the deed process. It's a kind of a big deal to sell land.
It is, absolutely, yep.
That takes work for that kind of a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah, but check with yours if you don't
Yeah.
mind. And we could talk more on the third. Maybe by then we can find some minutes why this happened, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll look through our minutes.
Okay, we'll do the same here.
Yeah. And then Carla, I'll send you the emails I got from my attorney, then if you could forward those to Doug, and then if those two need to talk, we can have the two attorneys talk
Okay,
before August 3rd.
That's perfect.
That would be good, then we could.
And then we can kind of hash it out, kind of, you know.
Yeah, then we can move forward.
Does that sound okay to you?
sounds good.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. So we're
Thank you.
better knowledge.
Goodbye.
Do we have aerial shots of that?
It's hard to understand. Maybe it's just easier to leave it the way it is.
We get taxes off of it if we change it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's enough to offset the advertising and everything.
Is it because they couldn't get to it? They couldn't get egress to it?
It's right next to the road.
But it would have had to have a bridge or anything? No. I'm just,
No.
no, okay. Trying to think of reasons that they might have had to purchase it, you know?
Yeah. I
Simplicity, just one block rather than splitting it off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know if there was a minimum amount that you would have needed there to make it worth as a separate parcel or not.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll move on to open forum. Jerry, I understand you had something for open forum?
Yeah. I'm Jerry Anderson from Lake Mills, and the road from, the gravel road that goes east on Lake Mills, right by the airport, and it's about 9/10 of a mile to, I think it's like 235th Avenue, up a gravel that goes to Rice Lake.
Right.
So altogether, it's like a mile and a half. And there's 3 people that live there. Ron Lankwood has a horse arena, and then Foster Hartman, and I think it's Alan Johnson that lives out there. I've lived there 40 years, and I'm just in the city limits. And it's gets a lot of traffic, and it's gravel. And the lake, since renovated 10 years ago, Rice Lake, which is the only lake in Winnebago County, got a lot of boats, swimming, fishing, and it's year-round. It's winter fishing, and it gets maintained, but when you turn on the going east down to the lake, it gets washboardy so bad, you just bounce sideways going around it and stuff. And the dust and stuff. And a lot of people that go by my house is blacktop to the railroad tracks, the city limits. And a lot of times if they got a nice car, motorcycle, they turn around and come back. So I think if you had a blacktop, they would, because then there's a lot of reasons other people go out there for, besides boating in the fall, we have a lot of big buildup of waterfowl, sightseeing and stuff like that. And, I just like to see it, and a lot of other people too would like to see it blacked out. It's about 1.5 miles. So that's what I'll just see if we can get something started on that.
Well, you bring up a good point. It's really the only lake, and
Yeah. And, you know, after the roads, if you do get it there, it's real popular for a bike trail, if you want that. I mean, it's like from here to Pilot Knob. I mean, a lot of bicyclists come out there and they see that gravel and they turn around and then they go back. So I don't know if you need signatures or anything like that, but I think I have no trouble getting them if you need it. It would be well liked because it gets used a lot.
I suppose you guys would put a traffic counter on that road for any reason.
I don't know where we're talking about.
Going the southeast part of Lake Mel's
Lake
heading
Mills
out.
by the airport. You go out there 9/10 of a mile, then it goes to Rice Lake.
it goes to the north.
North
Shore
Shore, Rice Lake,
access.
there's a state's got it, cement access road all the way, just about to the rail tracks, and then the big public access there with the big parking lot and stuff, and it gets used. I've seen 7, 8 different counties, cars there that are fishing there, and Minnesota, so it gets a lot of use.
I can attest to that too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of boaters, a lot of waterfowl
Yep.
guys
Yep.
come through
Mhm.
the country club part of it,
Yep.
looking for
Looking.
how am I supposed to get there?
Mhm.
And then we always direct them basically back to town
Yeah.
because it's simpler,
Yeah.
and have them turn at Ron Lang Falls and head that direction.
And then there's another access on the south side that is blacktop going from R-74 over to Joyce. And then there's an access about a 1/4 mile. But people take that because they don't want to drive their boats and stuff on gravel. And then that parking lot fills up right away. And
But this is our only boat launch in Winnebago County.
yeah, there's 2, one on each side, south side and north side.
That's Worth County.
But that's.
That's Worth County, yep.
Yeah, the
yep,
south one
yep.
is Worth.
So according to the traffic map, if I'm looking at the right one, I think it's 1,590 cars per day.
105.
That's 105 probably. That's a highway.
Is it, oh, that is, okay, now I get it. They don't show the town proper very well. All right, so that's Rice Lake. Oh,
And it
that-
gets spring and fall.
So it's 110,
It's a farm to market road too, it's spring and
So-
fall.
yeah, 110, and then 50 that goes south.
And what is it, Scott? The blacktopping's about $500,000 a mile, is that what you said?
The plat map says that it's
So moving
445th
target.
It's a
Avenue,
moving target, but it's roughly.
9/10 of a mile, 235th Street going south a 1/2 mile. It's just like going north of Lake Mills, stop, gravel keeps going, you go left to the rifle range, you go stop, because you go gravel, and then you go to Scarville, stop. So there's 3, 4 places there where you stop on gravel and go.
I think
Blacktop.
1.3 is the last number I gave you.
1.3
Million per mile.
1.3 million per mile.
Per due.
I think.
Yeah, that sounds more like what you said, that.
The 500,000, you were thinking about just that partial mile by Osmos.
We think that's-
That could be.
Cause we got another one by Rake that Hospice Farm Supply is on, and they've got guys that spend $200 to have their 200 and some $1,000 tractor trailers washed, and they gotta drive on gravel to get to the place. We've been having that one on the target to get paid for a long time too. It's just, so darn expensive that it's hard to,
Mhm. Well, this gets used by a lot of people from, not just the county, all over.
and this one does too. I mean, these trucks are coming from all over the United States, hauling herbicides in there, so, and out. But,
So if a group of people were interested in having, petitioning for this, what is their next step? If a lot of people want it. Just get names and bring it and present it to the group and see where the interest is?
Well, it's gonna have to be a decision by us in coordination with the engineer to set priorities on spending, is what it is, right?
Yeah, a petition doesn't have any kind of formal power other than to kind of give them, to show you the interest from the, maybe landowners or residents or whatever out there. Obviously the problem is trying to find funding for it. So if we can find funding for it, you know, when we're putting together our 5-year plan, it's possible that it could get paved, but as you know, that process always is whittling down and not adding to. I mean, we could investigate what kind of funding sources would help with that. My instinct is it'd just be budget money, you know, whatever we could find here locally, nothing from our state resources.
That, you get a tax or something every year from windmill people? That'll go towards roads, you can't use it for that?
well, it has been used for that, but it can be used for anything in a sense.
It would require an amendment to our urban renewal policy, or our renewal
So you
plan.
use it on roads now, that money?
It was used at one time, early on in the process, and we borrowed money against it, and we're paying it back with that. So the funds are being used to pay back that bonding that we
Yeah,
did towards bridge
the
repairs.
long and short of it is spent, it's already been spent.
And
Is that a yearly?
was
So
it 20?
TIF is a debt tool that people can use, and when we did the big windmill thing, 12 years ago, we did $20 million road work, and now we're paying that back with the TIF funds. So it's gone.
So that tip fund comes in every year?
The money comes in every year, but it's used to pay back our
Understand.
debt.
And that debt is done in 27, is it?
I don't know what the
Something
date off
like
the top of
that.
my
But
head.
then, at that point, then the TIF is done, and the monies go to the taxing
Yeah,
entities.
yes, it's
Because
spread
in the
out.
TIF process, we tie up all the tax monies for the purpose of our debt that we created.
Is there any, I know I worked for the state 33 years, and I was at Rice Lake when they put that road in there. It just out of nowhere, all of a sudden they got money to cement it.
Oh, that was from the fees.
Well, the landowners, there was Eagle Lane, Eagle Lane,
That
is
was
that
the
the one you're
south
talking
side.
about?
You're talking
It's
about
the north side of the lake.
Okay.
There's wildlife area.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That was probably from the, if I remember right, I had a DNR person telling me that came from the, probably from the registration fees from boats and stuff.
A rumor I heard that it was, you get to the end of the fiscal year,
Yeah,
and there's money left over, we'll spend it, because we ain't gonna get it next year, it was supposed to have been for a parking lot at some mental institution or something, and they used it there. That's what I
I
heard.
didn't hear anything about
That's what I
that.
heard, but. Now, what you're talking about, does the boat ramp itself.
Oh, just the ramp.
That's it, yeah. And they put a new ramp on each.
Yeah.
But they did the cement there because they added that right with the road, but on the other side, that is just the ramp stuff.
Because the water part of it is separate from the land part of
Yep.
it.
See, that is, it's a sovereign lake and the round, except for the private land, the rest is all state wildlife area. It's been there since 49 or 50, something.
We all love paved roads, but if I remember the number right, over the lifetime of a blacktop compared to having it gravel over that same period of time, it's 11 times more expensive to have pavement,
I believe that, yeah.
but it's nice.
Well, there's a lot of them in the county. That's for sure. And then I just think it's a big recreational area for the whole county.
I would imagine that just dust control is not gonna solve some of the problems. You're still gonna get the washboarding on the curb.
That, I can remember when Grotwell was supervisor, we tried to get him, because I drove that road every day for 33 years, and I went in and out of there with trailers and stuff. And I mean, it was really dangerous at times. If you didn't know it, you could go in the dang ditch. In fact, it has happened with boats that went in the ditch, because the trailer did, because it just starts bouncing, you're not ready for it.
And even in the wintertime, with
Oh,
ice houses
oh,
going
yeah.
out there too.
Yeah, they can get bad enough sometimes, they can even throw your semi around.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it move.
And they've come out and bladed it, and 2 days later, it's right back like it was. And one year, they even cut a big section right out of the middle of it, put crushed rock and everything in it to try to make it better. It maybe helped a little bit. That was 30 years ago.
I don't know if a seal coat would be, since it's a lower traffic road, if that's a more cost-effective way that might last with the low traffic, or does just years break it up?
Well, if there's agricultural traffic on it,
There is, it's a spring
you
and
know,
fall.
you get trucks and
You got
tractors with wagons.
irrigators and semis and
Well,
combines and everything running it.
The actual worst thing is if you figure out the pounds per square inch on a tire is grain wagons, especially the big ones.
Or the injection tanks?
Oh, and those guys are, yeah. And they're getting pulled by a tractor, so there's no, at least with a semi, you can only weigh so much, in theory.
Well, I thought it was certainly worth listening to what Jerry had to say when we talked earlier, because, you know, he makes good points as far as it being a pretty popular recreational area, and we don't really have that many.
What does it cost to get a traffic counter on the road?
We have the traffic counter. It hasn't been out for a long time, so the cost is just the time for us to kind of relearn how to use it and bury it in the road.
Well, it would be,
The last traffic count was in 2019
yeah,
From the DOT.
yeah. It would be interesting to see what the traffic is on it, and
They had one on the one that goes by my place. I think the city did years ago for a couple of weeks or something. I don't know if they have that information or not. Or,
Yeah, it's available on
Yeah.
there too.
you know, I think the city. The city roads, and then
Might
might
say
say
it's 55 on the county part going east and west. And that was 20 going north and south. No. East and west is 110, north and south is 50. Then 20 when you go over to Worth County past that. Crossing the railroad track.
Well, this really isn't on the agenda for discussion.
Right.
No, it's just
Well, I just thought I'd let you know,
informational.
people interested in it would like to have it done, so.
Okay,
Thanks for
Something
coming,
done.
Jerry.
thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, you bet, thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, well, I guess that clears our agenda. We stand adjourned.
Yeah, today you couldn't get the YouTube on, and last week the YouTube stayed on. I was sitting in Sally's, looking at my phone, and I was going through YouTube, and then all of a sudden, here's Winnebago County on there, and I went